sending that energy to the woman in the hospital. I get chills telling the story. And the woman in the middle had this vision of blowing fairy dust. And the woman in the hospital said, I just saw you guys blowing fairy dust at me.
Oh,
so
great.
And got much, much better after that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Sure. It's how Reiki works.
Right.
It's just sending good energy and visualizing. Bernie Siegel has one of his early talks about a young boy who had a cancer. And back then the little game was Pac-Man. And the youngster saw Pac-Man eating up all of the overgrowing cells, and he was in remission. So it's all about the affirmations, right? There was somebody who wrote a book about his experience using humor and laughing through whatever illness. So it's really just a positive affirmation of seeing yourself in a healthy state,
right,
and raising the vibration level up so that your illness may be at one state, but you've moved.
Right.
You know, I have something, you might not like this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I actually don't care if you like it or not. I know people who do spells with blood.
Okay.
Okay? Maybe animal sacrifice, stuff like that. Talk to me about that, because I can't stand it personally.
Well, in my particular tradition, we don't sacrifice any animals. Blood sacrifices or blood rituals, sometimes if you're using your own blood to do a dedication to your goddess, okay, that in this day and age, is it more acceptable? My main goddess is the Morgan, and she's a warrior aspect goddess.
Okay.
Now, for her, she likes raw meat and blood. So if you're going to use blood, use your own blood.
Yes.
Or if you don't feel comfortable in that, you can always use a substitute, which I read was apple cider, instead of using blood. But you never use the blood of an animal. To me, you have too much karmic energy with that. You know, it's not for us.
No, I know a lot of, like in Santeria especially, they do a lot of animal rituals, which I can't stand. Is there a huge difference between witchcraft and Santeria? Because I know both are doing spells. What's the difference?
What's the difference? Well, Santeria is witchcraft in the way we're practicing it tends to come from more European roots. What witchcraft does, has learned from Santeria, and Santeria, I'd say, has learned from witchcraft, and some elements have been shared. Santeria has come more from the islands and is a conglomeration of Catholic saints with pre-existing practices of that region.
Yeah, I think that's just a front for what they actually do, to tell you the truth.
I don't think so.
No?
No, I mean, there's some...
I definitely do.
I think in all facets, I mean, there are areas of Christianity, there are areas of witchcraft, there are areas of Santeria where there's places that get pretty dark. And sometimes the dark places that resonate the loudest, where the rest of us, 95% of the rest of us are trying to do health and healing, we get ignored because there's just a very small fraction that makes such a noise.
I'm going to make a statement. You guys know I do exorcisms. I think I've done 59 of them now. Is that the right number? 49 to 50? I don't know. It's a bunch, okay? And I would say more than half of them, I would say maybe 70% of them have been a direct link to Santeria. So I don't have much good to say about Santeria. But I kind of like what you guys are saying about the witchcraft, because it's showing me the other side of, how one thing could be done in a positive way and how something else can be done in a negative way. So I think that's pretty cool.
I can only speak for myself. First of all, I'm a vegetarian because I do believe that the health of the planet is important, and I don't believe in any blood rituals. The whole dedication that I have is when you call in the energies, the east and the spirit of the air is really just reminding us that we breathe in beauty, and we need to keep the air unpolluted, and the south would be the idea of the sunlight and the heart, the heat.
Right.
So it's really just keeping yourself healthy and paying attention to your heart and love.
Right.
And intuition and spark. And the west would be water and keeping yourself with the flow. And water energy is very important. I'm a member of Clearwater and New York Friends for Clearwater. We need to keep our oceans and rivers completely safe. And it's just really remembering, keep yourself hydrated and really go with your own flow and use all of those metaphors. And then north would be your body. It's Mother Earth, and we need to protect her. And center keeps all of those different aspects that have individual personality harmonized to remember that it's all one.
Right.
And whatever people do in their rituals is their own business. I make no judgments on anybody's practices. But for me, it's...
I judge.
But for me, it's only about this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. It's about bringing the fullness of yourself to the highest good, being charitable, being generous, helping somebody. It's about listening, it's about caring, and it's about the intention and doing the maximum good.
And I was going to add to what you were saying about the blood rituals as well. If there were some, like working with the goddess Morgan, we were doing a spell for a specific battle that we wanted to win, and we wanted energy on our side. So we did offer her, the goddess, in a ritual, some raw hamburger, and then people that volunteered to do so, it wasn't required to prick their thumb with a pin and add blood to that.
Well, I think that's a little bit different, though. I mean, that I can understand. I think that's probably a good thing, when you put your energy into something.
Right.
But when you're taking a chicken and cutting its head off and using the blood, or I've heard some other things which I don't want to bring up on the show, but
power
that
over
I
is never
can't
good.
even. That's horrible.
That sort of blood rite has never been part of witchcraft, and I don't know any witchcraft traditions that utilize that.
That's good to know.
The holiday of Samhain, which is around Halloween, has traditionally been a death holiday because that's when the earth would die. We do the live butcher at Samhain, and we select a live chicken, and we bless the chicken, and it's taken back and killed, and then we eat. But we don't take its blood home and do that, but it's honoring that, hey, if we're meat eaters, once in a while we need to look our animal in the eye and acknowledge that we are takers of that. No one has to eat it. We have vegetarians that complain in my group, like, I can't eat that chicken. I said, well, I eat chicken a lot. And so once a year I have to acknowledge the fact that I eat something that gives up its life for me. And I thank the chicken and I bless it, and then it's killed in a humane way. I don't know how to kill a chicken, so I'm not going to do it because I would hurt the thing so much.
Right.
So somebody else does it who knows how to do it properly. And then the first slice of the chicken is given to the goddess and thank you for, all that you give up from your body this year. And so we give something back to you.
And how big is the witchcraft community?
Very big.
It's growing.
It's growing. And actually, the Religious Institute did a survey, and witchcraft is the #1 rising religion.
Really?
And we don't recruit. We don't go door to door. We believe.
Sure about that?
Yeah.
It's a calling.
It's a calling. When a person's ready and they find witchcraft, it's because their soul wants to be fed. So, and even like with the community on Staten Island, I find more and more people are coming out of the broom closet.
Right.
They're letting us know that they're here. And, like having the shop and letting people know, I'm a witch. This is me. I live my life as a witch every day, and some dress the part as a witch and some don't. And, normally you'll see me in jeans and, regular shirt running around. Right. Some witches wear their robes. But,
do you wear a robe?
I only wear my robes on ceremony.
Right. Okay. Correct.
Yeah. But like the witches in Salem, they'll wear their capes and their robes because it's, acceptable there. Here, if I'm running down the street on Castleton Avenue in my robe and cape, I'm going to get some looks.
Right.
So,
especially over there.
Yeah. And I work in an office, so I wear office attire, but I wear my pentacles out where they can be seen, and I say, yes, I'm performing a Wickening this weekend, and yes, well, we had Imolk, a holiday over the weekend, and my coworkers say, what's that? I explain, I feel that hiding in the broom closet indicates that you have something to hide.
Exactly.
And it's not safe everywhere for witches to be out. There are parts of this country people would lose their jobs.
You find that you're ridiculed a lot? If people find out that you practice witchcraft?
It's gotten better.
It's gotten a lot better.
There's still judgment.
There is judgment,
somewhat,
and you'll be surprised of custody battles where the husband's using it against the wife that she practices witchcraft.
Right.
So does that work against her?
Yes.
Yeah. There's ignorance still out there.
I still run into problems quite a bit, mostly with partners or spouses of my coven members. In New York City, where people, in general, are a little more accepting. I haven't run into it like as a problem when I'm dating or at jobs or things like that. But I know there are parts of the country where other, brothers and sisters in the Wiccan tradition can't come out. And I feel, and I try to encourage other Wiccans that if you can come out of the broom closet, do it. Show that you're a regular person who. That's your faith, and it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Do you find that younger adults are getting into witchcraft?
Oh, yes, it's huge.